Assalamu alaikum wa ahlan wa sahlan bikum, and it's me Imtiaz. Welcome back to another lesson. So in the previous lessons we looked at singular, dual and plural nouns, and this lesson we're going to continue on and look at personal pronouns. So what is a noun? Let's have a quick recap. It's a word, as we said, that indicates a meaning that's not associated with time. It's also a word that refers to a person, thing, event, substance or quality. And words in Arabic change, unlike English, they change based on a few things. The first one is maqala, which is articles. So when you're talking to a person, if it's a definite or indefinite, this is where it's a or the. Words end, so they either have a prefix or a suffix. And if you're not sure about this, what I would say is go back to the lesson on definite, indefinite articles and review it, and then come back and do this. Words in Arabic also change based on al-jinsu, which is gender. So words in you can identify words in Arabic by looking at the most of the words end with a ta marbuta to indicate they're feminine, but there's also variations as well. So again, if you're not sure, please go back and review that lesson. Words also then change based on rakam, which is number. So whether you're talking to one person, two people, or more than two people, and also whether they're female only or mixed group. So singular, dual and plural. Again, we covered these in the last 3 lessons. So I would say again, if you're not sure, please go back and review these. Okay. And finally, we have dama'ir, which is pronouns, and that is what we're going to cover in this lesson. So what is a pronoun? So a pronoun is a word that can function as a noun phrase. Okay, it's used by itself, and it refers to a participant in a discourse, i.e., for instance, I or you. It also refers to someone else, that is he, she, or they. It refers to something that is it, this and that, and this we will cover in the lesson on demonstrative pronouns. Okay, so these ones here are what we're going to cover in this lesson, and this one we'll cover in a later lesson. So a pronoun is also used to prevent the repetitive use of words. And what do I mean by repetitive words? I'll explain. Okay, so here, if we look at this, it says a pen is a common writing instrument. And then we'd say the pen is used to apply ink to a surface, usually on paper. The pen is used for writing or drawing. So here you can see that we're in the first line, it was fine. We identified that we're talking about the pen, but then we're saying the pen. And so here we are repeating the word, and so this is where pronouns come in. So the pronouns can be used to prevent the repetitive use of words. So here, if we say a pen is a common writing instrument, and then we're saying it. So we're now referring to the pen. It is used to apply ink to a surface, usually on paper. It is used for writing or drawing. So here it makes it, when we talk about it, people know that we are talking about the pen. Okay, so this is where the pronouns come in. And there are 2 types of pronouns. So the first one is damir, singular form of Arabic is damir, which is pronoun, and then when there's plural, it's called dama'ir in Arabic. Okay, so and there are different types of pronouns. The first one is personal pronoun. Then there's possessive pronouns, and these indicate possession. So when we start to talk about my name, your name, we're talking about something that belongs to a person. Personal pronouns is, as I mentioned earlier on, it is I, you, he, she. Then we have demonstrative pronouns, and this is exactly that, this or that. Interrogative pronouns are, this is where we have questions, and then relative will cover as we go along. There's a lot more, but we're going to cover these as we go through the course. Okay, so if we look at the personal pronouns in English, as we said, personal pronoun is a short word used to substitute for the proper name of a person. In English, there are 6 personal pronouns, which can be of one of 3 persons. So the first one is the first person, and this is someone that we refer to as the speaker, so the one who's talking. So and then we have the second person, and this is the person being spoken to. Okay, then we have the third person, and this is the person we are speaking of. So here would be, first person would be I or we, the second person would be you, or, okay, and the third person is somebody who we're talking about. Okay, so let's look at the first person in English. Okay, it refers to the speaker. It has two forms, singular and plural. In singular form we have I, so, and this would work for both male and female. So I. Then we have plural, and this one, regardless of who's that, as long as it's more than one person, then we will say that it's we are, and this would be male, female, or mix. Okay, so that's the first person. The second person is the person that we are speaking to. Okay, and again it has two forms, so singular, which is you, so when we talk to male or female. In plural we'll have you either way, so whether we talk to one person or more than one person, when we're talking to them we are saying you, basically. Yeah? And that's male, female, or mix. The third person is the person that we're speaking of, and there are three forms of this. So we have two singular forms and one plural. So here we've got singular is male, so when we talk to a male we'll say he, and when we speak to a female, of female, then it'll be she. And then when we have male, female, or mixed, then we're talking to about they. Yeah, okay, so these are the personal pronouns in English. And let's look at the same in Arabic. So personal pronouns, so they're called Dhama'ir al-Munfasila, personal pronouns. So personal pronouns are also called subject pronouns, and unlike English, Arabic has 12 personal pronouns, and they always stand on their own. Okay, so we've got the first person, which we said has singular and plural, so we talk about I or we. Then we in English there's only one second person pronoun, you, which is used whether you're talking to one person, two people, or more. Okay, but in Arabic the second and third person subject pronouns change based on the number and also on the gender. So here for second person, third person, we have singular. It'll be different, it will be same as that. Then we have dual, so when you're talking to two males or two females, or male and female, it will change. And then on the third person, again, it will change based on the gender, and so he, she, and they. And again, whether you're talking to two people or more than two people. So let's go through and look at this. The first person in Arabic refers to, like I said, is the speaker. So when we look at the singular, when we're masculine, the word is ana. Ana. Okay, and that is also the same if it was a feminine. So ana. So whether you're male or female, when you talk about yourself, you're saying ana. So ana imtiyaz. Okay, and plural, when we talk about two or people, so that's male or mix or two females, we'll talk about, the word we use is nahnu. Nahnu. So ana, nahnu. Okay, so these are your first personal pronouns. So what we're going to do is, as we go through towards the end of the lesson, we're going to have practice, so where we'll actually put this into practice. Next we have, so here if we say, we'll talk about the man when he says, I am a student, he would say, ana talib, ana talib. So I am a student, male. So, and when we talk about the female, say ana taliba. So here this is the ta marbuta to indicate that we're talking about a feminine. So I am a student, female, ana taliba. Okay, so when we say the same for these, let's assume they're all students, we'll say nahnu tullab, nahnu tullab. And the personal pronoun in Arabic always comes at the beginning of the word, of the sentence. Okay, so ana and then word, ana and then word, and so okay, so nahnu tullab, so we are students. Okay, so ana talib, أنا طالبة. نحن طلاب. نحن طلاب. Okay, so that is the first person. The second person in Arabic, again, so when we talk to a male, we will say anta, anta. So here the girl is talking to the boy, and we say anta. And what happens is when you do it the other way around, the letter on the end, so anta, will have a fatha on the top to indicate you're talking to a male. Anta. Okay, so if we say to this, we'll say man anta, who are you? Man anta. Okay, and if he was to reply, he will then say, because he's using a personal pronoun, he'll start with the personal pronoun and then the word. Okay, so he'll say ana, and then who he is. Okay, so he will say ana imtiaz, I am imtiaz. In the future next lesson, we'll show you how to say my name is Imtiaz, but that's covered under possessive pronouns. But here he's saying, who are you? So we'll say I'm Imtiaz and I'm Imtiaz. So the one thing to note here is there's no is or am or are in the Arabic language. So these are assumed. Okay, so really what you're saying is I Imtiaz, but here we'll say in English is I am Imtiaz. Okay. Next one, so when we talk to a female, so he's now gonna say anti, anti. So here you can see that the fatha has changed to a kasra at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. So if he's going to ask her the same questions, he will say man anti, who are you? Man anti, and she would then say the same thing. So her reply would be ana, I am Abir. Ana Abir. Okay, so I am Abir. Okay, so that is your second person. So as we said earlier on, the second person in Arabic, certainly, we have it changes based on when you talk to a singular, dual, and a plural. So next we'll look at the dual. So when you talk to two people, so when you talk to two males, you will say the word is antu and then ma, antuma. Okay, so here the ta is changed from a sukun to dhamma, antuma. So here we have the same question that we asked earlier on. So if she asks them, who are you two? You will say man antuma, man antuma. Who are you two? And then male. And their reply would be, because they're talking about two, would be nahnu, we are. So we'll say we are students. It would be nahnu طالبان. So again, this is going back to when we did the lesson on singular, dual, and plural. The suffix is you add an alif noon if it's males, and then alif based on the if it's male, you add alif noon, and if it's females, then you will add change the ta marbuta to a normal ta first, and then add the alif noon. So what they're saying is nahnu طالبان. Again, if you're not sure, please go back and look at that lesson, review the lesson, and then come back and continue from here. So we are two students. نحن طالبان. If we do the same, so the male is asking the females, so he will say antuma. So it's exactly the same as if you're talking to males. So there's no change, okay? And at the end, in a few slides later, we'll actually show you a summary of this so you can print it off and use it as reference. So antuma. So if you ask the same question now, for he's asking to them, who are you? He'll say man antuma. Who are you two females? Okay? And they would then reply in the same way, because they're talking about themselves. He'll say nahnu. And then, so we're going to use the same example, talib. So here we'll say nahnu talibatan. So here, that you can see there's an addition of the ta marbuta. The ta marbuta has changed to a normal ta here. And then alif noon. It's just same as here. So nahnu talibatan. We are two students. So the words, indicate on most occasions who you're talking to, who the subject is. Okay. So that is your second person. And then we have plural when you talk to more than two people. So here we'll say, if she asks the three people, same thing, we shall say antum. She when it refers to them, antum. So the same question here, we'll say, who are you? We'll say men antum, men antum, who are you? So this is two plus people, whether they are male or mixed. Okay, so you will always use mantum, and this is the most common, really. So man antum, and their reply would be nahnu, nahnu, and then if we say we are students, we have to then use nahnu and then the plural version of the word student. So it would be tullab, nahnu tullab, nahnu tullab, we are students. Do the same thing. So he's asking the three girls. Okay, so it's now, this is where it changes. This is probably the only big change when you refer to females only. So the word here would not be antum, it would be antunna, antunna. Okay, so he will say man antunna, who are you, feminine only. Okay, so that's two or more females only. You would use antunna. But if you were to use antum, they will know what you mean. So man antunna, so their reply would be nahnu. And then, so again, the plural of the student would be, we have to add alif ta at the end of the word. So here will be nahnu talibat, talibat, nahnu talibat. Okay, so that is your second person. The next we have is the third person, is the person that we're speaking of. So English singular form, we have the word, when we talk, a female talks to, or a person talks to a male, the word is huwa, huwa. So same question, let's ask him who he is. We'll say man huwa, or sorry, we'll ask somebody about this person. Man huwa, who is that? Who is he? Sorry, man huwa, who is he? And he would, and the person would say, he's a student. So we'll say huwa talib, huwa talib. Then we've got the female. So we talk to the girl, we would say here. Yeah. So if we ask the same question, we'll say men here, who is she? And the reply would be here taliba. So here taliba, that she is a student, a female. Okay, so here you can see there's a ta marbuta at the end. So you make sure that the words, the nouns match your pronouns. So as we said, the nouns must match in gender, number, definite, indefinite. Okay, so here they should also match, the personal pronoun must match the noun. So if you're talking to a male, you use the right personal pronouns. If you're talking to a female, you use the right one. Okay, so that is the singular form of the third person. When you talk to two people, here you'll say, so when we're talking, she's asking about the two, they'll say huma, huma, man huma, who are they two? Okay, so here the R is implied. So who are they? Man huma, and the answer would be huma taliban, taliban. So here again the rule for the dual applies, which is alif noon. So they are two students, taliban, huma taliban. And same here. So when we say to a female, though, it's exactly the same. It's huma. Okay. So you'll say man huma, but the reply must be the noun must match the gender. Okay. So here we'll say huma talibatan, huma talibatan. Okay. So we're talking about two females. So the ta marbuta gets changed to a normal ta, then the alif noon. They are two students. Huma talibatan. When you talk about plural in the third person, here, like I said, when you talk about males or mix, we'll say hum. We'll say man hum. Okay. So again, like I said, this is the same. We'll say hum, whether it's males or a mixed group. So we'll say, when we reply, who are they? We'll say, for instance, they're the new students. We'll say, hum at-tullab al-judud. So when we did the definite indefinite articles, one thing we said was so here the word is an adjective, so the adjective must match the noun in gender and form here. So because the at-tullab, we're saying the students, then the adjective must also start with al. So hum at-tullab al-judud. Okay, they are the new students. Again, we'll in later courses we'll do practice on this, so don't worry if you find it difficult. Next we have is when we talk to females. So we said that when we talk to females only, we can't use hum. Here we are going to use the word hunna, hunna. So the question, if we ask the same question to them, is man hunna, who are they, feminine only, and the reply would be hunna at-talibat al-judud. So here we've got the plural version of talib is alif ta is added at the end, and again because we're saying the students, we are also then adding al here. So hunna at-talibat al-judud. So they are the new female students. Okay, so that's your personal pronouns in Arabic. Let's have a quick look at the summary. So the first person, as we said, is so mufrad is singular, muthanna is dual, jam'a is plural, and then we have mudhakkar and muannith, which is masculine and feminine. So singular first person, male or female, the word we use is ana, and muthanna, it is nahnu, which is also the same for jam'a. So nahnu. Okay, so that's the first person. So you can print this off and keep that. But to be honest, once you've done a few examples, you probably won't need this. Second person, we have same thing. So when we talk to a second person, if it's masculine, it's anta. If it's feminine, it's anti. Yeah. When it's two people, we'll say antuma, masculine, and the same again for feminine, antuma. And then for jama is antum and antunna, because we're talking about females only. Yeah. And then we have third person. So mufrad, mudhakkar is huwa. Mufrad and muannath is here, which is feminine. So singular. Yeah. Then muthanna mudhakkar is huma, when we talk about two males. And then muannath is huma again. Right? Muthanna muannath is huma. And then jama' mudhakkar is hum. Yeah, so two male plurals or mix, we say hum. But if it's females only, we'll say hunna. Okay, so jama' muannath is hunna. Okay, huwa, here, huma, hum, and hunna. Okay, so all these variations come up to 12. Okay, so let's go through. What I'm going to do is, before we do any exercises, what I'm going to do is introduce some words that we'll use in our exercises. So again, we'll start to do this as we go through future lessons. So we'll start to build our vocabulary on the different types of words. So personal pronouns vocabulary builder, let's look at this. So the first one, and what I'd like you to do is, before I actually show you the transliteration, I will try and read this out yourself. So we are actually going to do some practice. So here the first word is muhandis, which is an engineer. Muhandis. Next one is tabiba, which is a doctor. Next one we have is family, which is a'ila. So muhandis, tabiba, a'ila. Next one we have is colleague, which is zamil. Next one we have is a library, which is a maktab. Next we have a garden, which is hadiqa. So here we've got Zamil, and we've got Maktub and Hadiqa. Okay. Next one is a friend, which is Sadiq. Sadiq. Then we have the classroom, which is As-Saf. As-Saf. The important thing here is in make sure they emphasize the sword because I have the shut down top. As-Saf. So here we As-Saf, the classroom. Then we have the nurse, which is Mumarrida, which is a nurse. Then we have a teacher, which is Mudarrisa. If it was a masculine, as a female teacher, if it was a masculine, it would be Mudarris. Then we have La'ib, which is a player. Then we have Muhasib, which is an accountant. Muhasib. Okay, Mudarrisa, La'ib, Muhasib. Okay, next one, word we've done before, which is Talib, which is a student, a male. A female would be Taliba. Then we have a programmer, which is Mubarmij. And then we have a doctor, which is Tabib. So Talib, Mubarmij, Tabib. Okay. So America, which is America. Then we have Al-Yemen, which is Yemen. Then we have Hispania, which is Spain. So America, Al-Yemen, Hispania. Then we have China, which is As-Sin. Then we have Al-Maghrib, which is Morocco. And then we have As-Somal, which is Somalia. So As-Sin, Al-Maghrib, As-Somal. Okay. Some words that we're going to use. The first one is hal, which is used for questions where the answer will always be yes or no. So, are you a student? You will say yes, I am, or no, I'm not. Okay. And then we have aina, which is where. So, where are you from? Okay. Min, which is from. Okay, so again that would work with this, with aina, min aina, from where. So then we have man, which we've covered before, which is who. Then we have na'am, which is yes, and the opposite of that is la, which is no. Okay, then we have jadid, which is new. And the opposite of jadid is qadim, which is old. Okay, so that's hal, aina, min, man, na'am, la, jadid, qadim. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll go through and do some exercises. So here's to test yourself. So what I'd like you to do is the summary sheets that I did earlier on, if you want to use those, pause the video and print them off or have them somewhere close. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through, and also the vocabulary, the words that we've just learned. We're going to try and apply the right pronouns and the proper noun for each one of these examples. So here, the first one is I am an engineer. So when we say is male or female, the word we're going to use is ana, which is I am, but there's male or female, and then an engineer. Okay, so as I said here, am, there's no word for am, so this is implied. So what we'll say is I engineer. So ana, and the engineer is mohandis. Ana mohandis. I am an engineer. Next one is you are a teacher, female. So here we have to make sure that we use the right word for you. So the word we will use is anti, the kasra at the bottom, anti, and then we use the word, the noun, and convert it to the female. So it'll be mudarris is the masculine word. We're going to change it to mudarrisa. Anti mudarrisa. So anti, you are a female teacher. Next one, he is a player. He is a player. So the word, the personal pronoun we use for he is huwa, huwa, and then the word for player is laib, laib, huwa laib. Okay, so it says أنا مهندس, أنت مدرسة, هو لاعب. Okay, so that's أنا مهندس, أنت مدرسة, هو لاعب. So next one is you are a friend. So the masculine is talking to a female. Okay, so you are a friend, female friend. So the word we're going to use for you, because we're talking to a female, is anti, anti. And then the word for friend is sadiq. So we need to change that to a feminine. So it will be anti sadiqa. Yeah, because we are talking to a feminine, so female. Change the word to a female noun. So anti sadiqa, which is you are a friend. So next one, we'll say, let's put in the question here. So, are you a programmer? So he's to asking this another male. So are you a programmer? So the question we're going to use for are is, the first word is hal. Okay, and then we're talking to the male. So hal anta, and then the word for programmer. Hal anta mubarmish? Hal anta mubarmish? Yeah. So if he was going to reply, he would say yes or no. It would be naam or la, ana mubarmij. Yeah, naam ana mubarmij. If you said yes, I am. If you said no, I'm a doctor, say no, la ana tabib. Yeah. So next one we have is we are friends. So here you can see there's a mix of male or females. But as we said, when we're talking about the first person, when we talk about, there's only one word that we use. So the first one's going to be nahnu, nahnu, and the friends we covered earlier on, which was sadiq here, sadiq. So the word, and again this is going back to the lesson on plural nouns. So there's also regular, irregular. So the word here would be, the plural word for friends is أصدقاء. نحن أصدقاء. So we are friends. Okay, نحن أصدقاء. Okay, next one. So we are two engineers. So here we use the right pronoun, but also the more important one is the two engineers. So the word for we is going to be نحن, and the word for engineers is muhandis. And what we have to do is apply the rule for dual, which is the alif noon. So here it will be muhandisan. Nahnu muhandisan. Yeah. So here we're saying they are students. So we're talking about the third person. And then students we say is talib. So what we have to do is change that to a plural version of the word. So the word for they is going to be hum, hum. And then the word for plural for students is tullab, hum tullab. So they are students. Okay. The next one is they are two female teachers. Okay. So here we're talking about the third person again. So the word that we'll use for they is huma, huma. And again, the important thing here is two female teachers. So the word is two teachers, which we're going to have to convert into a dual, but then also we have to make it for female. So the word we're looking for is mudarrisatan. So here alif noon is the rule for dual, and then the ta marbuta into normal ta is for the female. So huma mudarrisatan. So nahnu muhandisan, hum طلاب هما مدرستان. Okay. Next we have we'll ask a question. Who is she? So the word we're going to look for the who. The question word was man, and then she is here. Man here. Man here. Okay. Next one. And if we're going to reply to that, we say she is a new friend. So the word looking for here would be, so she is here. Friend we know is sadiq, so we have to change that to a female because it's sadiqa, and then the new word is jadid. But we have to convert the adjective matches their noun in gender and form. So here we're saying here صديقة جديدة. So here, because the noun ends with the ta marbuta, so does the adjective. Okay. So next one, where are you from? So the question is where we said was aina, from is min, so it works backwards. So here's min, aina, and ta. Okay, so she's asking him, where are you from? Min aina anta. Okay, and he would say, let's say if I am from Yemen, so we say ana, so we say I, and then from is min, and then the name of the country, ana minal Yemen. Ana minal Yemen, I am from Yemen. Okay, so hiya صديقة جديدة and ana minal Yemen. Okay, next one is they are two old friends. Okay, so again we're talking about third person, so the word for they is gonna be huma. Friends we know is sadiq, but we need, because we're talking about two, we need to apply the rule for alif noon to the word friends, but also to the word qadim, so the old, okay, which is qadim. So here huma sadiqan qadiman, so we say they are two old friends, huma sadiqan qadiman. Okay, next one is you are doctors. So here we're talking about plural, so the word we're going to use to refer to them is antum, and the word for doctor is tabib, but the plural version for mix is atibba. So antum atibba, so huma sadiqan qadiman antum atibba. Okay, if we use the same one again, so that they are doctors, but we're going to talk about females. So here we're talking about the third person, so the personal pronoun we're going to use is hunna, and again because it's females only, we have to use the female word of the word doctor, so we add the alif ta at the end, so he'll be hunna tabibat, hunna tabibat. So are you a family? And then you, are you, hal antum, and then from Maghrib, from is the word is min, and then Maghrib, Morocco is al Maghrib, hal antum min al Maghrib, hal antum, are you from Morocco, hal antum min al Maghrib. Okay, so hunna tabibat and hal antum min al Maghrib. Okay, so the next one is we're talking about you, male plural, mixed plural actually, are in the classroom, male or mixed. So here we're talking to them, so the word we will use, personal pronoun, is you, which is antum, and then we say the word for classroom is as-saf. The word in, I don't think I covered, is fi. So here we say antum fi as-saf, antum fi as-saf. Okay. Next one is she is in the garden. She is in the garden. So the word for personal pronoun we can use is here, and the garden word for garden is al-hadiqa, and the word in is fi, as we covered here. Okay, so here fil hadiqa, and okay, so antum fi as-saf, here fil hadiqa. Next one, they, female plural, are in the library. Okay, here female plural in the library. So the word we're going to use, because we're to third person, is hunna, and then are in the library. So the word for in is fi, and the word for library is maktab. Okay, hunna fil maktab, hunna fil maktab. Next one we'll say, are you the new student? So here again we're going to ask the question. So the word is hal, and then we're asking a singular male, are you, so it's hal anta, and then we're saying student, so which is talib, and then the word is new, so at-talib al-jadid. When we cover the word, the lesson on adjectives, this will make more sense. So the noun comes first and then the adjective. هل أنت الطالب الجديد? Okay, so are you the new student? So هن في المكتب, and هل أنت الطالب الجديد? هل أنت الطالب الجديد? Okay, so what we've done up to now is taken the English and converted it into, we'll try to work out what the Arabic is. In the next slide, what we'll do is we'll go through and just look at the Arabic and then work out the English for this. Okay, so here what I'd like you to do is, if you want, you can pause the video and try and do this lesson yourself before I actually do the answers. So what you need to do is obviously understand what the personal pronoun is, and then what we're saying. Okay, so let's go through the first one. So the first one is أنا طالب. So this is أنا طالب is I am. We're talking about طالب is the word for student. I am a male student. Okay. Next one is أنا لبناني. لبناني. So we haven't covered this word actually. So here it's Lubnani. I am Lebanese male. Okay. And when we come to do the nationalities, we'll go into more detail about how to form these words from the countries. Next one is Anti Sadiqa. So we know Anti because there's a kasra. We're talking about we're talking to the second person, but a female. Anti Sadiqa. So here Sadiq is the word friend because ends with ta marbuta. We're talking about a female friend. So here we're saying you are a female friend. Next one is نحن, which is for we, and then muhandisun is engineer, is muhandis, and then wa'nu is the plural version for muhandisun. So we are engineers. Next one is نحن, which is we again, and then mumarrid is the nurse, and because it ends with alif ta, we're talking about female nurses. نحن ممرضات. And last one is antuma. So here we know again we're talking to the second person, but because it ends with antuma, we're talking about two people. Yeah, antuma tabiban. So here tabib is the doctor, but we're talking about two doctors. You are two doctors. Antuma tabiban. So ana talib, ana lubnani, anti sadiqa, nahnu muhandisun, and نحن ممرضات أنتما طبيبان. Okay. Last one, we've done a slightly longer sentence, but in here there's a reason for this, and I'll explain what that is. So the word we have to make is Gul, Nina, and Katie are students in the Department of Arabic, and they are my students. So okay, so the first word is Gul, Nina, and Katie. So Gul wa Nina wa Katie, so our students. So he will say in the Department of Arabic. So we'll say Tullab is the word for, because it's the mix, we say Tullab in the Department of Arabic. So it will be fi qism is the type or department, al-lughat al-arabiyya, in the language of Arabic. Okay, Gul wa Nina wa Katie Tullab fi qism al-lughat al-arabiyya, and they are my students. So wa is the word that we use for and then whom is because we are referring to them, they. Yeah, so whom, they are tullabi. So here's something that I've not covered before is the ya. So one thing saying here is that they are my students. So here we're talking about possession, that they are my students. So if I was to say ismi, my name, I would also then end it with the ya. So this is what we could refer to as possessive pronouns. So what we're going to do in the next lesson is go through and look at possessive pronouns. So here up to now what we've done is we've covered about the subject of so I or they or he or she. But when we start to talk about, my book or your book or my house or our family and stuff like that, we need to start adding suffixes, and this is where the possessive pronouns will come in. So we will go through and do that in the next lesson, the possessive pronouns. And then as we progress through the course, you'll find that with our vocabulary will increase, but also our use of everyday terms. Okay, so I'll see you inshallah in the next lesson. And again, if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And also, if you know people who can find this useful, then either use the videos or refer to our website, which is easyarabic.co.uk. We have a lot of videos available, and also some documents available for you to download and print and use along with the lessons. So thank you very much. Inshallah, I'll see you in the next lesson. Fi amanillah. Assalamu alaikum.